All right, so good to have you back. Now, that was the campaign trail there at a Tune local government area, and it did something very remarkable and historic. Was when distinguished Senator Joe Owan Eno, John Owan Eno came out to say that the APC Guba candidate has a great heart and he's a good man. So that was not far away from what we saw at the cultural center during the town hall meeting when the presidential candidate of the APC, tried to broker that peace. And we've seen there that it has indeed yielded fruit for the All Progressives Congress in Cross River State. Now, 6 days to the presidential elections in Nigeria and the National Assembly elections, and also less than 3 weeks, we would be having the state elections and quite a lot to talk about. The APC just rounded off their campaigns at the central, precisely in Ecom local government area last week. So there are quite a lot to talk on the show. Today we'll start from the national before we bring it back here in our state. I have joining me Barrister Ekpenyong Akaba. He is the media aide of distinguished Senator Prince Basi Edetutu, who happens to be the APC gubernatorial candidate here in Cross River State. Ekpenyong, so good to have you join us. You've been a regular face, and indeed, we always love your company anytime you're around. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, MC Joe. Very distinguished comrade.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure to be here. Good evening, viewers.
All right. So, Ekpes, before we come down to the campaign trail, 6 days to the very historic elections now. Like the way I opened, I said this is the most anticipated joint elections in the nascent democracy in Nigeria from 1999 till now. Now, talk to us. How ready is your party for the national elections?
Well, let me start by saying that, this is going to be a complete cycle. So we're talking about 1999, and from 1999 till date, it's well over 20 years, and that's a full cycle of political mapping. And because we are waiting a transition, a lot is expected. There's a lot of requests and desire from the people. And you also agree with me that there are so many unanswered questions in the country in which or whereby voting whoever into power will be a determining factor as to the realization, as to the answers to those questions. There are quite a number of challenges, which for those challenges to be surpassed, we will be ensuring that through the ballot. Now, why I'm creating this foundation is to make you understand that this particular election will witness more participation, will witness more consciousness, will also be greeted with a lot of surprises. I'm one person that have severally advocated for liberalization of our political system, whereby people should be given independence of decision. And if there's anything this administration has achieved as APC, is trying to instill democratic principles. Don't forget this Electoral Act that has been amended and signed into law have been a child that existed without delivery, and it was delivered under the watch of APC. And that is because, take it or leave it, President Buhari is a Democrat. And I want to believe that with the emergence of the beavers, votes will count. Whatever will happen in a couple of days will be a reflection of what Nigerians are indeed in need of. So for me, I expect that the people will make a pronouncement by way of voting. But if you ask me, as a party man, beyond the fact that people might want to wonder differently, if you put the candidates on the table, I believe for equity and justice, any candidate that is running outside the South-South zone is already a failure from the beginning, because you're running anti-clockwise, you're running against the tide, you're running against fairness. So for me, the PDP is out. This contest, Kwankwaso is out. This contest is for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Peter Obi, because they're running from the zone. Another unseen presidential candidates, because there are many others which have not seen them in the race. So for me, Nigerians will be going out there to vote a new president, which will be from the South-South zone. And why Asiwaju should be voted in Cross River, because we're cross variants, simply is so that as we expect to benefit from the national, the only leadership that will give Cross River the followership it deserves is the APC leadership, because there's an existing structure, because there's a connection, because we have a governorship candidate of the APC, we have a senatorial candidate of the APC in the 3 senatorial zones, we have all the House of Reps candidates from APC, 25 House of Assembly candidates from APC. All other political parties, particularly the Labour Party that has a chance, do not even have those people running elections. So there will be a wide gap going to waste votes to vote Peter Obi in the South-South. Because I see it as waste. He will not even be able to have the spread to win election in the country. Because politics has to be voting for a presidential election, you must be able to, be voted across the country to meet the percentage. So I advocate for cross-variants to vote for APC, top to bottom, all our candidates, so that there will be that consensus of opinion, consensus of vision, and consensus of the, representation, whereby we'll be able to midwife governmental processes, both at the national level and the state level.
Okay, so you made mention of His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party not having the spread. Now, the quick one is, does your principal at the national, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, does he have that spread?
I'm not being sentimental. I'm a realist, and I speak to facts. In the country today, structurally, apart from the fact that PDP is running against zoning, we only have APC and PDP. How do I define the structures? Those in the National Assembly belong to political parties. They are the leaders from different constituencies. You're either seeing an APC member or a PDP member. Very few other parties that have people who just recently defected. Now, how many governors are in the states? They are PDP and APC. That is the truth. So if you're running as Labour, you're seemingly running as an independent candidate without a structure. And politics in this country have not yet matured to ensure independence of political ambition. We must say the truth. So as party men, people will follow the direction of the leadership of their political party. So when I talk about spread, Asiwaju will have the spread, because in the country, APC is majority. In the country, APC has the highest representation in terms of National Assembly representation, in which that is the representation or definition of constituencies. And Labour Party lacks that. Labour Party lacks that coordination. Labour Party lacks that nexus of even ambition. You will see in some pockets, in some areas, you can find one senatorial candidate, 2 House of Rep members in the whole state. In some states, you don't even have a governorship candidate. For instance, in Cross River State, Labour Party has no candidate as far as I'm concerned. We just came out from a town hall engagement with CAN. Labour Party was absent. So that is the question I'm talking about. They should answer. We should move beyond just following sentiment and the argument of whatever sympathy. Politics is beyond sympathy. We're talking about ensuring that we join the majority, because politics is a game of majority. It will be unfair and pitiful for us to vote and then we don't win. It makes sense if you vote and what you voted for led to victory, because it's only in victory that success can be achieved. It's only in victory that our requests can be gotten. Don't forget, the president, when he came here, incoming president, had assured us that beyond Lagos, Calabar is the next destination. talking about our deep seas. In Cross River, in Calabar, we have the three waves, the air, the land, and the sea, you know, and seemingly it's also in Lagos. So, and when you talk about territorial control, it has been Calabar as the first capital. So you have a lot of similarity with Lagos. Now, a president from Lagos like Asiwaju would definitely develop Cross River.
Okay, so let me quickly find out from you. He's been around and he will be rounding off his campaigns in Lagos on Tuesday. I mean, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, and I'm sure all of that he's been talking about what he would be doing. Well, let me quickly find out, what is he bringing to the table for Nigerians? You
now,
know, because there are a lot of people going through quite a lot. What is it?
Yeah, that's why I started by saying I wouldn't want to be specific, but you agree with me, there's hardship. For me, I'm very disappointed with the management of the CBN. And one person given an opportunity will demand for a sack, immediate sack of the CBN governor, because you need to plan properly. Financial management is not something you wake up overnight and implement. And what is the president bringing to the table? You agree with me, he's one of the persons that have moved against the Naira swap in this nature. Yes, you can swap Naira, but Naira should be available. In the course of transmitting new currency, old currency can still be in circulation until we have enough, sufficient cash to operate with. So what he will bring to the table is people's interest. What he's bringing to the table is empowerment. Asiwaju represents generational empowerment. Asiwaju represents human capital development. Check the records. He's someone that doesn't believe in self. He believes in people, and that's democracy. So for me, we should be voting our antecedent. That's why I'm sure he will win, money in circulation or not, because people will no more have money to buy votes. So people will only vote based on antecedents. People will vote based on those they believe will deliver, beyond those that are coming with 2,000, 3,000 to buy votes. We have suffered in this country because people come and recycle themselves 16 years, 20 years in power, because they continue to come and deceive us with 6,000, 2 cups of rice, Indomie, and they are gone for 4 years. Now, Asiwaju is not a seasonal politician. He had never before now expected to run for presidency, but he has always empowered the younger generation. I can list them. So for me, what he will bring to Nigeria will be security. What will bring to Nigeria will be employment. What will bring to Nigeria will be health care delivery. What will bring to Nigeria will be self-sufficiency. What will bring to Nigeria will be local government autonomy. Don't forget, in Lagos State, local government was created against the federal government for dissemination of power, for people to have a sense of belonging. That is what it stands for.
Okay, because you brought up that CBN issue, and I had some point, I wanted at some point to raise that. Now, is this policy not working against your party at this critical time?
For me, it's not about a party. You see, I've kept on saying this. Party is no human being. Party is a mere vehicle transporting all of us to destinations. So for me, it's beyond the party. I think it's about some crazy cabals who feel they've been left out from the transition of presidency, because Buhari is a liberally minded person, and Asiwaju is the majority interest of the people, even when it was seemingly looking as if it was not the wishes of the presidency. But when the wishes of the people overrided the presidential wishes, the president followed the people's wishes. Now, some elements within the presidency, you know, to my knowledge, are still unhappy with that transition. And they now feel they should use the platform to frustrate what is the people, what are the wishes of the people. So for me, it's not about working against the party. It's about working against the people. Because whether you're PDP or APC, the cash trap is affecting all of us. Whether you're Labour Party, the cash trap is affecting me and you. The ordinary market women cannot buy and sell. People now have their money, they cannot use it. People are dying because there's no money in circulation. So it's not about the party, it's about all of us. So for me, I believe this is one policy that have been greeted with dissatisfaction, that have been greeted with a lot of frustration, that have been greeted with a lot of displeasure, and I condemn it in totality. And I feel those governors who approach the Supreme Court, and let me also say this, It is also very disappointing that in this ancient time, a central bank governor will disobey a Supreme Court order. It is the height of governmental rascality. So for me, it is something that we must, as a people, rise up against. And I want to also believe, the moment Asiwaju is elected as president of this country, the narrative will change.
Okay, so well, let's just hang it there. Go take this video. Let's go take a very short video, and when we're back, we'll change our discuss and bring it back home here. Stay, it's still Weekend Politics. Don't go anywhere. Weekend Politics, and wherever it is you're watching us from, we're live here in Calabar, CRBC TV, the biggest TV station South Nigeria. I still have with me Barrister Ekpenyong Akaba. He is the media aide to distinguished Senator Tufan Prince Bassey Edet Utu, who happens to be the APC governorship candidate here in Cross River State. Ekpenyong, so good to know that you're still here with us.
Thank you so much.
Now, let me take us back home now. You know, we started this at the north, and I remember hosting you with some people from the north. We had the south and the central. That was okay, precisely when the paramount ruler then said, wait for your turn. That was a direct message to the opposition. Now, talk to us. Give us updates on all the campaigns, exactly, precisely the south and the central.
Now, let me say that Southern Senatorial District is the domain of the incoming governor of Cross River State by the special grace of God, distinguished Senator Prince Bassey Utu. Don't forget, he is of Odukpan local government, and he lived and grew up in Calabar South precisely, in Shanahan Street, off Edebedebe. He is a Calabar breed. So his visit to the Southern Senatorial District was a homecoming where there was total endorsement and a categorical statement made by several groups, youth, women, traditional rulers, and what have you. And we have nothing else other than to say thank you to God Almighty for giving us a man with such pedigree, a man with such records, a man that is unassumingly humble, and a man that believes in sociability. He's a man that is contented with what God has given to him. And I remember in Calabar South, he told the people, when you voted me as a senator, did I do well? He asked them. The people said you did well. And he did not only do well to the high, he did well to the middle and the low. One thing that caught the attention of the public was when he said, at Lagos Street, I met with these fish sellers and I gave them money to buy fishes and sell. And through them, I was introduced to some fishermen that I had to buy them boats to fish. So now there was a connection, fishermen and fish sellers. So as they now fish, they no more sell the fishes. They only supply the fishes to the women who brought senator to them to buy them, you know, the nets and fishing boats. Now this is a man that his politics has been about service to the people. Remember, he was in the House of Representatives. He was chairman of the largest committee in the House of Representatives. That is the Petroleum Committee Upstream. And that's the Petroleum Upstream Committee. And in that committee, he sponsored a bill that brought on board the local content board today, whereby local content is now a prerequisite in the oil and gas sector. If you pass through Odukpan, you see the oil and gas park. That's a delivery of his representation. If you go to the University of Cross River State today, the biggest facility there is that of Senator Prince Basu during Professor Enebong BCC, when the man said, this is the first time I've seen a politician who said something and did it. It's on record. Why I'm giving this background, Prince Otu's legacies, footprints, achievements in the South has been what has attracted support from the North and Central. So we thank His Excellency who have followed us around. You know, there are other governors who will not have this time to follow their successor and present him to the people and solicit for their support in thanksgiving for their own support during his own leadership. And this continued beyond the South to the Central. I wouldn't even want to begin to mention local governments in the South because Akpabuyo, it was a standstill. Bakassi, he has never lost election in Akpabuyo and Bakassi. When he was in Labour Party, he won the landslide. When he was in APC, he won the landslide. So when he was even in PDP, he won the landslide. So Akpabuyo Bakassi, the South is his territory. We have been winning all our elections with Prince Otu. Odukpani, there was a blockade in Okoyom precisely, where our governorship candidate was not even allowed access. The entire federal highway was blocked in happiness that behold our beloved son. Now in the Central, I must thank the people of Central very categorically, because for them to come out emphatically, frontally, deliberately, and caution distinguished Senator Sandy Onowi for him not to run against the people of the Southern Senatorial District time is commendable. I remember the traditional ruler of Obubra rejected his aspiration in totality, stating that it is the turn of the South, and that what APC have put on ground, what the elders have put on ground, by way of rotational politics from the North, from the South to the Central to the North today, should not be obstructed. And therefore, in clear terms, they said, yes, you are our son, we will not support you because it is not your turn. When it is the turn of the Central, which is immediately after the South, you can come back and ask for our support. We'll support you. They rejected his ambition in Obura local government. And I also remember that in a tomb, the traditional institution say, the gods have spoken to them because they are the ears and the eyes of the gods, that Prince Otu will be their next governor. And it was repeated in Ikom, repeated in Yako, total endorsement. So for me, I believe that the people of not just the Southern Senatorial District, but the people of the Central Senatorial District, by way of the kind of reception we had, our grand finale was in Ikom Stadium. The entire stadium was filled to capacity. And the people came out to say, we have a governor that has stood by equity. Because the governor stood by equity by ensuring that zoning is instilled and the South will produce the next governor. The people came out to say, Your Excellency, we are here to thank you. If you look at the video, several presentations of awards to His Excellency Senator Professor Ben Ayade. By the special grace of God, when he returns to Senate, he stands a chance to become the next Senate President because of his records in the National Assembly, because he's going as a ranking senator. And the people say, Your Excellency, one thing you've done for us as a people in the South, in our languages, we're telling, thank you, Your Excellency, for giving us back to South. And not just back to South, for giving us Senator Prince Basu too, whom we trust, whom we believe in. So it was not just, it was no more a campaign tour, it was also a thank you tour. The thank you now was for His Excellency, Senator Sir Professor Ben Ayade, who is the man behind the success story of our generation as a people in Southern Senatorial District.
Okay, so let's quickly take this very last video. When we come back, we'll use 2 minutes to wrap up your thoughts. So let's take this very short video and we'll be back to wrap up our thoughts tonight. Stay with us, don't go anywhere.
That's what the man said.
So you know, because even can sing so. Even can talk 30 minutes.
Okay, I change.
You get a change so.
Can't change. And
You
one
can
put it by
change.
8.
So right.
PDP stay away, wait for your turn. Pramarola. I'm quite telling me, you're there. I
I watched this particular video during the news. Governor is saying
You might get it. I'm on that. I got them on that.
wait for your turn.
Who say now, you're there, you couldn't and make sure that your list is breaking it. You couldn't do it.
Okay. Just use 3 minutes to wrap up.
No problem.
All right, Mr. Boyong, let's quickly take the very last shot now. 6 days from now, Nigerians, indeed Cross Riverians, will be heading to the polls to elect candidates of their choice. Now, would the outcome of Saturday's election in any way affect the March 11 elections?
Well, I wouldn't want to be categorical, but I want to believe that a vote for APC is a vote for Prince Utu, is a vote for Asiwaju, and all our APC candidates, because we're in a party. It is important that we vote for our people. Now, whether it will affect the next election is a question that we can only answer after the first election. But I want to also appeal that our people should not sell their vote. People will come with all kinds of stories. They will make transfers. This transfer, how many weeks will it last? Because you're talking about a 4-year term whereby there will be no good roads, there will be no good schools, there will be no good medical care, and there will be insecurity. So ensure that you vote your conscience. Ensure that you vote people with track record, like I earlier mentioned. And ensure that you advocate for peace, whereby election will be peaceful and will have a credible and fair election at the end of the day, with all glory returning to God.
Thank you so very much, Barrister Ikpenyong Akaba. Let's just hang it there today. We really hope that by next Sunday, if you would be around Calabar, we will be bringing you to get updates, or maybe we could be, because I'm sure you may be around Odukbang or the...
I'll be in Odukbang.
Yes, definitely.
We must all be in our wards.
Definitely. So hopefully we would be would be a call away on that Sunday, so that we can get updates.
And victory is coming, I can assure you.
Oh, okay, definitely. Barrister Ikpenyong Akaba is the media aide to Prince Basio II, the APC governorship candidate. Thank you very much, Ikpenyong. And this is saying we wish you all the best. In the next 6 days, Nigerians will decide. Okay.
Thank you so much.
And
I must commend your efforts.
Thank you so
and
much.
sagacity.
Thank you very much.
In terms of your program.
Thank you so very much, Ikpenyong Akaba. And we hope that you will still remember the brand come after May 29.
Yes, this is our own symbol.
Okay.
CRBC is the state symbol.
Definitely.
And we have no other place to go.
Definitely. Okay, so this is where we have our show anchor tonight. Join us again next week. Remember, Saturday, please go all out and vote candidate of your choice. Ensure that you do it peacefully, devoid of violence. See you next week, Sunday, God willing. My name is Joseph Yang. Good night.